Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is the first Sunday in February, if you can believe that. How's everybody? Excellent, that's good to hear. I had a great first week at the new job. I had a really good stitching week. It turns out before work, I get about 45 minutes to an hour where I can just stitch, which is nice. That let me, in some cases, get a fair amount done on my weekly and monthly ones. Then I still had the evening. So that was all kinds of fun. So, I do have a small, tiny little bit of haul. Part of which I'm not going to show you because they're Q-snap clamps, who cares? Ooh, big spender. There will be, I think, more haul coming this week. We had some weather delays with mail and things, so yay. But I do have whip updates. I have an almost finish. It will be a finish definitely today, but I wasn't sure how long it would take, so I didn't want to postpone my video too long. And then, yeah. Alright, so without further ado, let's dive right on into the Q&A. Susan Kopp says, I need more info on the Aurora. Do you use the stranded floss? What weight is it? And how many strands do you use? Okay, so, Aurora, and they sent me this lovely little tool guide, or guide to their floss. They've got multiple different weights. They've got, the ones that apply to cross-stitch are the floss, the 12, and the 28. So the 12 weight, and all of three of those come in 270 different colors. The 12 weight, which had a ruby slipper on it, which made me happy, is this one here. It comes on a red spool. You get 50 meters. Or 54 yards, if you will, which should tell you, considering I used an entire one of these small spools, and then almost all of, because I had three, and I kind of was using them interchangeably, so I probably used close to, if not 2 full spools on cryptids. Wow, showing you a black piece of thread against a black shirt, Garrett. Way to go there. 12 weight is like 2 strands. So it's like using 2 strands of DMC. It's a little, maybe a little bit thicker because I think it gives better coverage in some cases than 2 strands. And it just, you pull it straight off the spool. Now, the 28 weight, which I do have here. Thinking I might have an easier to access spool than this, but that's okay. So the 28 weight is the equivalent of 1 strand of DMC just straight off the spool. Come on, where's my start? There we go. Again, you use it straight off the spool, and then you double strand it. So it's great for doing the loop start. And it covers just like 2 strands does. It does feel a little thinner than 1 strand, but its coverage is really, really nice. And then the Aurora floss, which is this the floss or is this the filament? No, this is the 8 weight. This is I know I've got a floss. Oh, I thought I had a floss handy. Give me just 1 sec. I'm going to run around and grab one. I have a spool shelf that I can't really show you because of where it is on the wall. But you can also get these little cases. And here is... The floss is just standard 6-strand cotton floss. Use as many as you need. Weight-wise, it's very, very similar to DMC. My one complaint is there's not a good way of wrapping it back if you don't use all of what you cut. But that's how you use it. The colors, there aren't, like I said, there's only 270. So you don't have as many options as you do with DMC. So subsequently, it's not one that I would probably use to, I would not say, oh, switch everything over to Orifloss, never use anything else again. Because shading may be a thing. But overall, the colors all are beautiful. DMC mixes in with it fantastically. I really can't rave about it enough. So hopefully that helps answer your question there, Susan. I just realized I didn't turn my ring light on. I wondered why I felt so dark. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. Sue Birdsall asks, when I mentioned that Oliver finishes, is that Oliver from Fire Poppies? And yes, it is. I don't know if he just does it because we're friends or if he's planning something bigger, but he does a lot of my finishes for me because he's awesome. In fact, I just talked to him the other day and warned him that he was probably going to get another package from me soon. Okay, and I think that takes us through the end of the Q&A. Alright, so my one bit of haul came from Fire Poppies. Gasp of shock and surprise. I have another order that I placed last night because I needed 3 DMC colors, and I was too lazy to go to Joann's or Michael's today and do it. That's the one downside to working from home. There was a Joann's on my way home from my old job, so I could place an order online and run by and pick it up on my way home that afternoon. Unfortunately, I can't quite do that now. Alright, this one, this is a fabric. I bought it in mind for the Narnia Stitching Book Club, but it ended up being too blue when it got here. It's still absolutely beautiful, and I will use it for something. It's called Big Sky. It's a 28 count linen. It's an opal, which doesn't really show up too well there, but trust me, it's an opalescent. It is a hand-dyed. They didn't write who the dyer is. So I'm not sure who it was that dyed this beautiful piece. Let me see if I can really quickly find, because I've still got the Fire Poppies website pulled up. Ha ha ha, because I'm me. Big Sky. Big Sky. Search. If so, then I need to write this down. No, it doesn't. Okay. I need to harass Oliver and find out who it is. So that was my haul for this week. Like I said, there were there's some stuff from Fortnite coming, but the weather caused some problems there. Alright, so let's talk about what I worked on this week. So, Sunday of last week, I decided to work on, I wanted to finish up the upper body part of my Veronique and Enginger Little Mermaid. And then, by some bizarre miracle, my wheels spun it this week. So my goal for this month was to finish her tail. So, and this is on As You Wish from Under the Sea Fabrics. here is my Shirley Temple Little Mermaid. Her tail is done. I did not do the backstitching, other than a lot of times I will backstitch faces on these, and then I'll just finish the rest later. And that's because I get really weirded out looking at the faces without backstitch. So, so there we go. I did the fin itself in half stitches because I wanted to give it sort of a translucenty effect, like a lot of fish fins have. And then I also changed the color of her little purse to be white and pale green because I didn't particularly care for the goldish orange color that it was. So, there we go. So that's it for this month on it. My plan next month is going to be to do half of the seaflora that's around her, but depending on how long it takes, I may just go ahead and go for a finish. We'll sort of see. I'm willing to play that one by ear because I don't quite know. I've got some plans to bling it up a little bit more too, which is interesting because I didn't do any blinging things up on Beauty or City Mouse and Country Mouse. So, alright, then I worked on Aurora for a little bit on Sunday evening. And then Aurora will also come back out to play this week. So I decided I'd work some more on the blue. So I've almost got the blue on this left side done. And then I'm going to start in over here. So this week for Magical Stitches, I'll go ahead and talk about it since that's upcoming. Our weekly one all revolved around things like costume design and stitchery. And since Aurora is my oldest whip, I'm using her just across the board. So it'll be 400 stitches on Aurora. So I'll definitely finish out the blue here, and then I'm going to go on over here. So Aurora's going to get a lot of attention this week. Boop. All right. So then, on Monday, for weekly number 1, which was Project with a Dog and related to the number 7, I worked on Wicked Siblings by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. This is on a one-off from Fortnite Fabrics. And I finished out. My goal was the leaves on this side. So, because since this is a short month and I knew I had a lot going on, some of my goals were a little smaller. So that's where I'm at on it. Then, for a whip with 4 squares, my goal was Nutcracker to finish its 4th square in the border, but I'm close enough, and it's actually my weekly number 3, which was to stitch on something with food, and there's food there. So I'm going to finish this up today. As you can see, I've got the tree, I've got the sugar plum fairy, and I've got a little detailing and some backstitch. But I should have this done, I would guess, probably before dinner. This is on Gold Opal Christmas in Williamsburg from Under the Sea Fabrics. So, very excited to finish this. My New Moon, New Start was French Kitchen by Hands On Design. I got it all laid out and planned. And I got started. This is on Fairy Ring from Under the Sea, not Under the Sea, from Fortnite. So I got the word phrase and the word et stitched. So, starting with that one. And again, I converted pretty much all of it over to classic colors. I really like this one. However, I am not driven to continue working on it like I have been some of my other monthly starts. So even though I will be finishing Nutcracker, it's going to go into the archives, and I spun the wheel to bring something else out. Then I worked on Secret Garden by Tiny Modernist, and the goal was to do the flowers over the gate, which I did. This is on Moccasin from Fortnite Fabrics. And I was really skeptical of how these were going to look, just based on the way the pattern was. And then I started stitching, and I was like, ooh, they're actually really pretty. So. And that was my goal for this month. My goal next month is going to be the top part of the border, and then at least one tree, maybe 2 trees. Because March is a full-length month. All right. And then, of course, I worked on Souvenir. Part 5 came out on Friday, so I worked on that. I worked on part 5, so you can see I didn't show it last week because there was no point in you seeing my 2 nice little stitch rows. There's some cut work and beads that are going to go in there. So this time it was just these flowers and a long back stitch and some lazy daisies. So that was part 5. This is the one that's by Victoria Sampler. It is a freebie on her Facebook group. All you have to do is join, and it's available. The parts, it's 1 a week through the end of April. And if you... And I think the parts are supposed to be available through the end of the year, so she'll leave it up all year. It's a very nice, supportive group. She has lots of great tutorials as well, so if you're interested in it at all, I highly suggest you go check it out. Alright, so that brings us to what's ahead for this week. So, like I said, I'm going to be working on Aurora as a focus piece. On Thursday, the next part of Little Red Riding Hood Parade drops. On Saturday, the first part of Narnia drops. So, I'm going to be playing this one a little by ear. I will have finished with Nutcracker. That'll be a finish on my second monthly, so I've got 2 of them done already. If there's time, I will work on another one of the monthlies. If not, then at least next weekend is going to be Stitch Along weekend. So, that being said, so the first thing we're going to come to, the project that's replacing Nutcracker is Count Your Blessings by Annie Beez Folk Art. So I know I've got to go and do some correction to the border over here. I forget what it is. It's not a huge correction, actually. I just realized I've got to, I think, basically cut out, like, a stitch. But I was being a whiny baby about it, because I'd had several weird counting errors. But this one, I think, will move quickly enough coming along that it should be a relatively quick finish, I think. But here's where I'm at on it. So, and it's just in all the called for colors. I like this one. I like the ones. And it's actually going to go into the bag that you're about to see, because the bag that I'm keeping Nutcracker in, and the needle minder for Nutcracker, is going to transfer over to Narnia. So, alright, so Narnia is starting on Sunday, or on Saturday. This is the fabric I've chosen. I don't know what, it is a Fortnite fabric. I know that much. I know it was a fabric of the month last year. I do not know where I put the little card that had the name on it. I know it is not Work Bitch, because that one I used the entire thing of, basically. So here it is. It's a nice light blue opal, so that'll sort of reflect the snow idea. Sort of the snow wintry idea. I'm doing it in all the called for colors as of now. But Kristen's so good with color that I don't think I'm going to do too much changing. I don't have a bookmark for it. I could not find one that I liked very well. So I have no bookmark that's specific to it, but this is my edition. This is the edition, well, sort of. So, my history with the Chronicles of Narnia in like 1992-ish, when they were airing the BBC ones here on our local PBS station, I caught the commercial for it. So Mom taped, not realizing that it was like multiple parts, only taped the first part, which ends with all four of them going into the wardrobe and discovering that Mr. Tumnus has been taken prisoner. So, fortunately, our local library had all of them, so I was at least able to check it out. Our local Blockbuster actually had the animated one from the late 70s. So that was actually, I think, what I watched first. Then I got to see the BBC one in full. And then, that year, that was my kindergarten, and the Scholastic Book Clubs, which I loved, had the paperback edition, a paperback copy of the first one in it. And so Mom and I was an advanced enough reader that they were letting me get from the bigger kid catalog. So Mom bought that, and it was the first book I read by myself. Those editions, which are probably familiar with the same cover, but it was a tan instead of a blue, which is part of the other reason I wanted to do blue, was to give a nod to this. The tan ones, much like the white covered ones that were available through the 80s and into the early 90s before the disaster that was the renumbering, only had an illustration at the very top of the chapter. That was it. So I always wanted this set because it had the majority of the illustrations. Not all of them. I think there are some that are missing. But, and it took forever to find these. These were the last editions that Macmillan printed before, before they were taken over by HarperCollins, and HarperCollins bastardized them and gave them the terrible, terrible renumberings. And I will fight anyone over that one. Seriously, we do not know. This is book one. Anything else is a lie. And you're cheating your kids if you give it to them in that order, and not this one. And I will fight you to the death on that one. That is a hill I am happy to die on. Anyhow, so there you go. All of that to say, this is the edition I'm going to be reading, and I finally tracked down a box set, so I have all 7 of them in this edition. I also have a box set of the paperback versions that I had as a kid, because I think I got rid of those at one point because I was stupid. Anyhow, there we go. So that starts on Saturday, and I'm very, very excited. I think there are still some left. I'm not entirely for sure. Let me look and see. She was very limited. She was able to, I think, increase it. No, it is still available. I will link it down below. But she's getting close to not having any more. It is a limited set of 1,500. Once the stitch along is over, once that last part has gone out, I think she's only going to have a short window time, and then she has to pull it. So it won't be available ever again. So if you think you want to join in on it, even if you don't think you're going to do the stitch along as we do it, go ahead and grab it. So, and I'll have a link for it below, since I'm talking about it today. So, anyhow, that's kind of it for me. I will see you all next week. And I hope you have a great day.